inverted, narcissistic, and most importantly, completely pointless. Come waste an hour of your week with The Starting Block, Friday nights Australian time at dlive.tv/The Starting Block. Get in touch with us on Twitter at The Starting Block, no K at the end. Also, subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts or iTunes by searching for The Starting Block, all one word, or on Podbean at startingblock.podbean.com. Join the blockheads, tuning in their millions, right around the world.
You're listening to The Starting Block on TAVshow.com.
The following program is recommended for mature individuals and may contain material unsuitable for morons, cretins, and dishwipes. If you are a moron or a member of the PTL Club, please turn off your radio, because we don't need any more stupid, narrow-minded, pencil-neck geeks who wouldn't know the First Amendment if it came up and bit them on the butt. Thank you.
Okie dokie, roll 'em!
Nothing to rearrange. Sometimes you just get a feeling like you need some kind of change.
Hey, welcome to Starting Block for another week. Show as always. We've got impromptu stuff in the rundown. That's going to take up the whole first segment. We know how that works. We got that. We got story times. We got docos. All that and much more. You're on the block.
Standing tall on the wings of my dream. Rise and fall on the wings of my dream. Rain, thunder, wind and haze. I'm bound for better days. My life, my dream. Nothing's gonna stop me now.
It's Greeno here from The Starting Block. On behalf of the block, we just wanted to let you all know that we're all in this together. Well, except if you have coronavirus, then stay the fuck away. But in every other situation, we're in it together. To all of you on the front lines, those of you turning a footstool, a wok and a pitchfork into a home gym, those of you who have given your housemates a mental breakdown because you decided lockdown was a great time to learn the keyboard and the only thing you can play after 8 weeks is chopsticks over and over and over again. And those of you who are homeschooling and are now understanding the question you used to harass your maths teacher with of, when the fuck are we ever going to need to know this in the real world, is coming back to bite you on the ass. Just remember, like a 1990s Australian sitcom, we're all in this together. The days may be long, but in times like this, you can rest assured we will be here to waste an hour of your week, Friday nights Australian time, at dlive.tv/The Starting Block. So take care, social distance, whack on a mask, and subscribe to our show on iTunes. It may not cure coronavirus, but it sure will help us with our rankings. And isn't that really the most important thing right now?
Public Radio's loss is TAVshow.com's game. You're listening to The Starting Block.
Hey, welcome to Starting Block for another week. You've got myself, Greeno, joined by a man who also loves to whack a bit of raw chicken talking to Miss Curry. My co-captain Damo, how are we, sir?
Very good, Greeno. Good evening to you, boys, girls, listenership out there, audience. Well done. How are you? Fuckwits, morons,
Millions. Yeah.
everyone. Welcome
Out
aboard. Raw chicken in curry, Greeno. Well, I imagine all chicken is raw when it first goes in the curry because then it becomes cooked.
No, you got to fry it off first. You got to fry it off, get a bit of colour in there. But
okay.
Serving raw chicken in a curry is apparently the biggest political issue this week.
I see. Look, I don't even know what that reference is. This is like the least, normally in our friendship, Greeno, spanning the 30-something years that it's spanned, I've always been the political one. Greeno's never been the political one. Greeno's the sport. I've been the sport guy too, don't get me wrong, but Greeno's just like more sport, and I've always been the one that's got the political opinion kind of thing. But this current election cycle, Greeno, you're the one, you're really taking the lead on this one, and I'm kind of sitting in the back seat now, and I'm like, okay.
This is Greeno's baby, because this isn't real fucking politics. No one's talking politics. It's all pointless shit. That's my domain. Yeah. Pointless shit. That's where I fucking fit in there.
So Greeno, because, now I'm relying on you, because I don't even intend on voting in this particular election.
Gonna take the fine. Wise call.
Shut up and take my fucking money.
Yeah. Now, at least do a donkey vote.
Yeah.
At least rock up. Don't cop the fine.
Well, I might for the first time take your example and just draw the dick and balls on the ballot.
Dick and balls. That's how we do it.
That's how we roll.
Westie style.
Yeah. Don't you wish that we had like the kind of system, like maybe we could, mate, what if we were a little more Americanized and that, you could just kind of write whoever you want on the ballot. And you know what I particularly like about the way they do things is, Greeno, you're not forced to vote because I received a fine not that long ago for not voting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if you don't participate in their little circle jerk, right?
Yeah.
It's like big smacks, you go and sit in the naughty corner. It's like, hang on, I didn't even want to fucking play. I don't want a part of this.
Dude sitting in the corner, it doesn't want to get involved in the ball game. Just let me stay over here and watch, and just fucking we'll be okay. Everyone's a winner.
So how long until the actual vote happens? What's the day, Greeno? Because if you're listening to this and it doesn't make sense, don't worry, but we're currently in the midst of a federal election, so we're deciding the next leader of the country. And as Greeno alluded to, it has been literally the most ridiculous fucking election campaign that I think that has ever happened, Greeno, in the history of Earth, I think.
It's become Friday night pub trivia. At this stage, I could be elected Prime Minister based on my pointless knowledge of fun facts and figures. Yeah. I don't know anyone's policies. I don't know what anyone's trying to achieve for the country.
Doesn't matter.
But I know that they don't know random facts and figures that realistically you can just fucking look up yourself. Very, very pointless, very, very silly, and a complete waste. And more so a big shining light on how terrible the corporate media and so-called journalism has become in this particular country. Okay. Now, we already knew that. We were already aware of that, that it was pretty shit, but this particular election cycle has taken it to the next level of just, fuck me, our media is an embarrassment to what used to be referred to as journalism.
That bad? Is it? How bad is it, Greeno?
Pretty fucking bad, mate.
Give me one example. Like, what's the most egregious thing that you've seen and thought, Jesus fucking Christ, did somebody actually write that? What's the one that stands out for you?
The Today Show host, whose boss happens to be former Liberal leader. Was Peter Costello a Liberal leader?
He was the treasurer.
He was treasurer. Yeah. I remember never quite got the top job because Johnny didn't want to retire.
And boss. Look, to be fair to Costello, right? He probably would have been a pretty good prime minister because if you look back at him when he was at the peak of his powers, he was a fucking wise ass. You know what I mean? He was very entertaining. He always gave great speeches because he was great at fucking throwing the insults, and that's really all you want when you vote for somebody. Yeah, I want the zingers. That's what I'm attracted to. I don't know about you. So he was quite good at that. But yeah, John kind of, Mr. Howard just held on that one too many elections, Greeno. He was the old champ who should have retired before he got knocked the fuck out.
You didn't know, when to hang up the gloves. You're just like, nah, I've still got another one in me. And you're like, nah. No, you don't, Muhammad. I can put the gloves down, sir.
And so he ran in that election. In that election, he lost his own local seat as well. I don't know if you remember.
Happened since, hasn't it?
No, and the funny
Didn't have
thing
it, was
was,
he?
well, no, it had only happened once before. And get this right, the one time that it happened before, Greeno, it was the same election cycle where the Prime Minister of the day tried to basically eviscerate all of the unions in one election. Yeah, and look, I'm you know me, I'm not a big fan of the union movement by any stretch of the imagination, but John Howard in that election cycle, he basically introduced a whole bunch of rules that would make the unions like a non-entity, like they would have no power in the workplace whatsoever. And so that's pretty much what got him kicked out of office, because he just went one step too far.
He was doing a little bit too far.
Just too far. Yeah.
The guy who you find amusing pissed as a chook at the work Christmas party.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, he shits in the glass. And it's like, nah, mate, too far. Like, it was all fun and games, but now you shit in the beer glass. Nah, you've ruined it.
And and to top it off, so the poison, like it's a great analogy you use there, shitting in the beer glass, because that was literally the poison chalice that was handed to Peter Costello. Because in that election, John Howard said, look, if I win this election, I'm going to be in charge for about a year or two. He tried to do the Wayne Bennett style handover to the coach, Greeno.
Never happened.
Yeah, he was like, all right, I'm going to be in for a year or two, and then Peter's going to be the Prime Minister. And everyone was kind of like, even Liberal voters at the time were like, well, hang on, how come we're not voting for Peter then?
Wasn't that the whole election platform of the opposition? Well, like, I vote for Johns, I vote for Peter. I was like, no,
that's right.
It's Peter.
Yeah, and even though Peter, I think
Peter.
Exactly, but it was such a stupid strategy, and even though I think Costello probably could have been a pretty good Prime Minister, unfortunately, he was handed the beer glass that John Howard shat in at the fucking house party.
Nice, Gary. And when people look at the beer glass, they didn't look at John, going, John shat in it. You're like, no, that's Peter's shit.
It's Peter's glass. He's the one holding it.
Yeah, exactly. He's holding the glass.
Right.
Obviously, he's shatting it.
There you go.
Damo, let's get off politics until we get back to politics, because that's like segment 4 now. We need to shout outs. We're going to start the show with remember old school shout outs?
Yeah, but
I swear we used to do that back in the day. But we're going to do shout outs on this show.
I thought shout outs were strictly for black people, though. I thought that was their thing. Like, hey, I want to shout out to my homies out there. But then, white people started adopting.
It, and also a lot of good filler when it comes to radio.
Plenty of filler.
Not enough content out there, so you got to do shout outs. They just be shout outs.
Birthdays, Greeno, anniversaries. Yeah. You do the birthdays on FM radio, and you do the anniversaries and the deaths on AM radio.
You back out. You sit there and go, big shout out to Jimmy listening there in the truck with the boys. Well done, Jimmy. Thanks for listening to Triple A.
Jimmy trucking across the nation right here on 44.7. Yeah.
Go get yourself a nice cocaine Coke.
Don't forget to stop at our party van. Parked right next to the truck stop down there. You know that place where the crack whores suck your dick for $5? That's the one.
That's the one.
Head back out there, get yourself a can of fucking Coke, mate. It's going to be fantastic.
That and free vessel of topical cream. You'll be good to go.
Topical cream.
Now, shout out time. Now, I want to go back to a bit old school here, Damo. Our old pollster, speaking of elections, old pollster Stephen Sears. He's been checking in every couple of weeks. He's like, boys, I'm ready to go. Like, why aren't you on? And I'm like, well, firstly, it's a couple of hours before the show starts, Steph. Yeah. Secondly, we're not on this week. So between those two things, normally, Steph,
not being on it does tend to be a significant roadblock to lilistening to something.
It's a bit of a roadblock. Yeah. Now he messaged us a couple of hours ago, and he's like, mate, need ETA.
ETA?
Because I'm half lit and ready to go. Which is what we've
That's my boy.
Said.
Fucking nice Gary. Nice Gary. Getting pissed on a work night.
Yeah. But as we pointed out, this show best enjoyed either half or fully cut.
Definitely.
Quarter cut, probably not as much.
No.
Half or above.
Yeah. Quarter cut, we're just annoying.
Yeah.
Quarter cut's like, oh, fuck, either shut up or stop talking or start talking or whatever. But if you're fully cut, you're like, hey, you fucking idiot. It makes sense. Yeah. Exactly.
So he pointed out, he's like, oh, mate, ready to go. And I said, Steph, 2 hours and counting to on air. And he's like, well, that's too long. That's too long.
He wants to put in a complaint then.
Nice. He did. He had to point out, he's like, look, sorry, but it's Cinco de Mayo.
What the fuck's Cinco de Mayo, Greeno?
Big celebratory time there in America. I don't understand what it is. Don't understand what it represents, but it's a big party, and I think it's like a Mexican thing, perhaps.
I don't know if it's Mexican. Does it though? Does it sound Mexican, or does it sound like another one of those countries there in the Central to South America region? It's not really our ballpark. We're in Asia. We don't know what the fuck you're doing. We're eating noodles. Who knows what's going on over there? You know what I mean?
Fucking, it doesn't sound Mexican. Cinco de Mayo is the yearly celebration held on May the 5th, which commemorates the anniversary of Mexico's victory over the Second French Empire in the Battle of Puebla. Right. So there you go. We learned a little bit of something there, a bit of history as well thrown into
the second French Empire, Greeno.
Now, here's the thing with, that really kind of caught my eye.
Was that a huge victory at the time, or was it was it huge for them? You know,
big enough to get on the cans on this particular day.
Because I'm not trying to be crass or anything like that. I'm not trying to shit on anyone's culture or anything, but everyone's beat up the French at some point. Everyone's fucked the French. The Germans beat the French. The Spanish beat the French. The English beat the French. Everyone's beaten the French at least once, Greeno. So I don't know if, do we have a political lotto? We've got a place here in Sydney called La Perouse, Greeno. You know La Perouse.
Yeah.
La Perouse is named as such because there was a French captain on the boat, in Sydney Harbour, who decided, who pussied out. He was like, I'm not going to sail into the shore yet because the storm over there is too scary. And I don't want to sail into the storm. Can't go into the storm. Mind you, the Englishman, the Captain Cook, sailed up right behind him and said, oh, look at this fucking French pussy over here sitting here. Yeah, and he just sailed right in and he found it, It was like, all right, I got here first, fuck you. And, just another example of how everyone's beaten the French at least once, Greeno.
Yeah.
Anyway. There you go. Happy Cinco de Mayo, everyone.
No, here's the thing that caught my eye. Steph, he said he's got Mexican neighbors and they got him drunk as fuck. Okay. So he's like, that's why he's really cut. Now, once again, so Steph, correct me if I'm wrong, big Trump fan, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah, very much so. Yeah.
Wasn't Trump trying to keep the Mexicans out?
Yeah.
Nice, Gary.
Just putting it out there. That's all. You got
Cinco de Trumpo.
Cinco de Trumpo.
Fuck it. Well, again, we're celebrating beating the French. Who gives a fuck? Sorry.
That's a winner. Everyone's a winner. 100%. You got shout outs for our boy, Ted Dabrowski.
Ted Dabrowski, Greeno, hitting the big time. Look at this. I'm very fucking jealous of Ted because he's been quoted in the New York Post, Greeno.
Was it in the opinion section?
Hey, no.
Was it in the classifieds?
No. It was in an article where they were just talking about the quote unquote backlash of a New York Times article, because you got to understand the Post is the rival to the Times in New York, right? Mm-hmm. Now, so the Post put an article up about how the Times was getting backlash for an article they wrote. And I did tweet it out, like I kind of clipped it and retweeted it, I think, but it was along the lines of Elon Musk grew up in an elite white neighborhood in South Africa and was surrounded by anti-black propaganda. Like that was the article, right? Mm-hmm. To which Ted Dabrowski replied, judging people by where they grew up, thought we were past that.
Nice.
Ted Dabrowski. And next thing you know, our boy, he's getting quoted in the New York Post. Look at that. I feel like a nice Gary's not even good enough for getting quoted in the New York Post.
Is this being shared with me or just our viewers? Because I can't see anything. I got nothing up on my screen.
Can't see anything. Oh, Greeno's, no, everyone can see it except you, Greeno. There you go.
There we go.
Yeah.
There you go. Spot on. Well done to Ted. Pointed out, though, Ted, on the gear.
On the gear, yes. Yeah. Always on the gear.
Always on
Ted
the gear.
Nice.
Well done there, getting mentioned there on the New York Post.
Absolutely.
Seems like a good time to bring up our muted word of the week, Damo.
Oh, good. Yes, I am getting into this flavour, this trend that we're doing, this muted word of the week. I like it.
Actually, can I do a double down? Can I do a step back in time plus a new muted word of the week?
Absolutely.
I like stories about pinatas.
Go for it.
To a muted word of the week that I actually put in a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, shit started slipping through the cracks, which frustrated me a little bit. So we need to get Elon on this ASAP. Okay. I realized something randomly was coming in. That stupid Star Wars May the 4th shit was seeping into my timeline.
I love May the 4th, Green.
No, fuck it. It's fucking horrible. It's muted. Now
you're not a Star Wars fan though.
Nah,
see, I'm a Star Wars nerd, so I love May the 4th just because it's dumb.
It's very dumb. So I went back through to my muted words, and that literally after Trump was my second muted word. All the May the 4th shit because I got sick of seeing it in my timeline.
Okay. So what is there like a lifespan on your muted words? Do they just automatically come back?
So I had to like make sure I re-upped it and any variations on May, because I realized what it was. It was variations on May the 4th. So it said forever, but people like misspell it and then kind of sneak in. So then I had to like take into consideration people's fuck ups. So I put in variations. 4th is one word, 4 with a TH. People just fucking up the way to spell it. I put all of them in there. Now everything muted, which brings me to this week's muted word of the week.
Well, just before you get to the muted word of the week, Greeno, you bring up a good point. Like, here you are working so hard. Like, if we're going to have crippling algorithms on social media, can you at least let us use them too sometimes? Like,
just help out a little bit.
Yeah, don't just block all of the good YouTube channels that we like. Don't just ban all of the funny Twitter accounts that we like. Look, can't you sometimes, can we not sign up for something, or can we not fill out a form to say, I want to just ban all of this kind of content off my feed, thank you. And it's going to be all your shit. You know, all the shit that you want us to see.
Anything that's promoted, I'm sick of blocking those cunts.
Like, look how hard you're working, Greeno, because like you've muted this years ago and now it's coming back again, and you're now working for them because you're thinking of all the variations of May the 4th. You know,
May the 4th, exactly.
You're racking your brain thinking, how can I set up this algorithm? That's not for you. You're not getting paid by Twitter to do this.
Elon's going to take care of it, mate.
I hope so. Fucking nice.
Nice, Gary!
This week's muted word of the week, though, because it ruined my timeline. I don't know why it was in my timeline, because there's no reason to be in there, but for some reason it was fucking flooding it earlier in the week. Met Gala.
Met Gala. Okay.
Now, I don't know what a Met Gala is. I don't know what it serves. I don't know what the purpose is, but it was there and it happens. It happens every fucking year.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of people wearing some weird shit, achieving nothing, rocking up, being rich cunts, and that is it, and fucking up my timeline. It didn't fall into the bucket, and no, it almost did. Sorry, correction. So it didn't fall into sport 80s movie, portionable in tit. But there wasn't enough tit to justify the amount of stupid frocks I had to see in my timeline.
Okay. Look, I don't know what Met Gala is, but when you say that term, when you say that term, I'm thinking like gay men selling a yacht.
Close, but on a runway.
Gay men on a yacht talking, like, you know that show Selling Houses where they go and look at the house and fix it up? I want to see like Queer Eye meets the yacht guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they're doing up yachts and selling yachts. That's Met Gala 2022. I don't know what else.
This is
horse racing.
Nah, this is rich fuckers rocking up on a runway wearing clothes that are basically the cost of my mortgage, but lecturing us on climate change. That's what the Met Gala is all about.
Oh, okay. Well,
and wearing clothes that are completely impractical in any way, shape, or form for modern usage. Like, no one's rocking up with some quality tracky dack. I don't see no puffer jacket. I haven't seen no quality beanie. None of the above. What we see is basically the very fancy plucker duck outfit, if anything there. The
most inappropriate clothing I've ever seen, Greeno, was in Scotland. And I was in Scotland in like the middle of like their coldest winter for years and years and years, right? It was literally freezing outside. And I remember we were walking around on like a Friday night, and you know how you'd get like, remember 18, 19, 20-year-old, the kind of nightclub skanks, Greeno, back in our day? Right?
Slappers.
Yeah, the slappers, exactly. But you would have Scottish slappers who would hang around like the Scottish clubs that we were going to and drinking at.
Wearing Ugg boots, but with miniskirts?
Oh, no. Like it would literally be like -5 degrees Celsius or something outside. Yeah. And they're fucking walking around in miniskirts and fucking titty tops, Greeno.
Nice, Gary! You got to get the flesh out. You got to get the bait out, sir, if you're going to bag a fish.
And they're so cold. Like, you look at them in the face, they're in pain. They're freezing. They're literally fucking freezing on the street, but they care so much. Yeah. Like, it must be tough for the Scottish horse. You know, it's so fucking cold up there. Like, what are you supposed to do? And no wonder Kimi Räikkönen is such a sex pest, Greeno. He probably wasn't a day younger than 25 years old before he saw a native tit in his country.
Nice,
Minus 20 degrees everywhere he walks around.
I like it. You make a good point. Damo, time a bit of your story time, bit of Friday night buzzer beaters.
I like stories about pinatas.
I've got a little story for you, and it's a story, but I think it's going to carry through to a lot of people, Greeno. Now, I want to know about your experience, though. This is like a talking point. It's more like, remember the old segment we had, the elevator talking points?
Oh, Damo's talking points, where you
points.
rattle off a bunch of angry shit back to back for 6 minutes with elevator music in the background.
Right.
Good segment.
Yeah, just to kill time, because it wasn't enough to play 2 songs, so we had to do something else as well back in the day.
Killer.
Yeah, so have you ever had this experience, right, Greeno? Now, you're working away Friday, you've been on top of things, you're having a good Friday, everything's flowing according to plan, and then you start getting this fear, Greeno, when you see the clock tick around to about 4 p.m. Does that sound one of those familiar things?
Not so much. I think I know where you're going with the story. I will reallocate that story to literally day before annual leave, opposed to Friday. So I think I know where you're coming.
Yeah. So, like you've got everything's sorted out. It's in the right box. It's all organized.
You're literally staring at the clock, doing the counting backwards.
We're
getting to 4 o'clock.
Yeah. 4 o'clock rolls by pretty good. You get a couple of those late ones come in, and because there's a couple of people who leave their shit till the last minute, and they're like, they send it in. It's like, okay, thanks. I could deal with that. So a couple of little handy things, and then 4:30 rolls around, 4:40, 4:45, Greeno, and then it hits you. And then that one comes in. And it's one of those ones where it's like, it's not even something you can't, it's so big that you can't address it, but you know that you can't address it because it's so big, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's fucking 4:45 on a Friday.
Yeah.
Those are those Friday buzzer beaters, Greeno.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one of them rolled into, I was in a really fucking top flight, good mood. Everything was good. And then you get one of these fucking crackers that rolls in at 4:45, and you're like, okay, now how the fuck do I handle this? Now, there's 2 options, Greeno. There's 2 options. Do you address it now, or do you put it off? Because there's no right answer. Now, I want to feel you out. Okay.
That's definitely a right answer to that particular question.
Okay.
It's a definite put off. There's no way you do it.
You don't even address. You don't think about it. You don't open the attachments. You don't do anything.
You haven't worked office for very long.
No.
You're pretty much fresh to this office caper. Now you got to understand. I'm an office veteran.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an office veteran. So
this is why I'm coming to you, though. This is why I'm asking.
It's about strategy, especially on a Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
So Friday afternoon. Now here's the thing. Now a couple of different factors. Now for myself personally, historically, I had a couple of different plans, but at the moment, what I do on a Friday afternoon, I've scheduled a meeting.
Okay.
From 3, I finish at 4, and I finish at 5. 3:30 to 4, I've got a meeting with my boss. So my boss said, "Look, everyone, send me your preferred time for a one-on-one meeting with us. We have to catch up once a fortnight." So everyone does 10 o'clock, like 11.
They want to get it out of the way first.
Early in the week while they're fresh. Yeah. I book mine 3:30 to 4. Now, what that does to me, right, is if anyone puts in a complaint against me not responding to anything late on a Friday afternoon, I'm in a meeting with my boss at said time. I've got evidence that I'm busy, and there's a reason why I didn't respond.
Nice, Gary!
So no one can interrupt me on a Friday afternoon because I'm chit-chatting with my boss, covering off important one-on-one stuff. Now,
mate, nobody believes me when I tell them I'm best friends with Lex Luthor, Greeno. They don't. But I swear to God I am. You think of everything.
So the other thing I used to do, because that's only once a fortnight, so then I had the other Friday afternoon to deal with. So it was very important they were encouraging team building. Look at the team leader. They're like, look, do what you can. So once again, Friday afternoon, between 3 and 4, I became DJ Greeno. But what would happen is instead of doing work, I would just post YouTube clips of fucking 80s and 90s songs to the team, and we chat about it. And anyone try and message me, I'm like, sorry, busy.
Team meeting, bro.
I'm doing team building here every second Friday when I'm literally just on YouTube looking up fucking Britney Spears.
Oh,
So there's some little tips and tricks you can do. It's got to be booked into a meeting. You got to make sure your boss
Got to
is aware.
schedule that shit. Hey, it can't be like an impromptu one. Like, hey, if you got time for a quick meeting or something, because he's planned shit on Friday, hasn't he?
Exactly. Yeah. You can't just whack yourself on Do Not Disturb because you look bad doing that shit. As long as you're doing something that needs to be done, you just schedule it in a time that's most convenient for you to get out of there at the end of the week. I mean, I literally had 4 emails and 4 messages in my meeting this afternoon that came through. Just fucking closed my computer.
Oh, nice, Gary.
I'm like, that's Monday message. I'm in a meeting. It's there. If anyone goes, why didn't you respond? I'm like, well, you messaged me here at 3:37, 3:43, 3:51, 3:57. During this time, my Outlook records show that I was in a meeting with my boss from fucking 3:30 to 4:15. What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
See, he's got an alibi. You are Lex Luthor, and nobody believes me. Nice, Gary.
Nice, Gary.
Oh, fantastic.
What a story.
I like stories about pinatas.
Enough story time for you, sir. Cleaning house.
Oh, do I want to go back? Well, that was your story, that last one. So I'll give that to you. I can give you a quick little story, Greeno. You will probably hate this story, though.
We'll go to a break after this story, though, and then we'll come back to Greeno Does Politics Week 2.
All right. Well, are we going back to politics already?
No, trust me. It's good. You'll like it.
Will I? Okay.
Yeah, you will. Trust me.
Well, I don't know if you'll like this. So, first of all, there's this situation, Greeno, we need to discuss. Where do you stand on the cleaner who comes to the house? What's your policy on that?
Look, that's a fucking very good question. I'm anti it because I'm the kind of person, I need that sense of accomplishment for myself, and I need to be busy at all times.
It's funny. I'm anti it because I just don't like people in my house.
Well, that as well. Yeah, I don't want any fucking person in my house to begin with. Yeah, that is point number 3. But for me, I'm like, well, unless there's a physical reason why I can't do the shit myself, I'm either going to leave the shit dirty or I'll just do it myself.
Right. Well, the Ladybugs booked a cleaner for today. Okay. Cleaner who come to the house.
What cleaning are we talking here? Are we talking like general tidy up? Are we talking like hard scrubbing?
I think like just the annoying stuff. Like there was like floors and bathrooms and just like, I don't know, man. Because look, I'm going to be honest with you.
It's very important. It's very important to know what particular cleaning is being done.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess like a general tidy. Yeah, I get like mopping the floors and stuff, and just I think like a thorough clean. They do stuff. They go around and they clean whatever, and they do a deeper clean than you would if you were just doing like a general tidy up. You know what I mean?
Now I'm you know me, man. Fucking, we talked on the show 1,000 times. Very, very frugal is Greeno.
Extremely.
Now, I need to understand what state of despair was your home before it kind of reached the point where you're like, fucking, we need to get external cleaners in.
That's a silly question because it's never really in a state of despair. Like it's always pretty clean, It's
pretty good. And that's my point. I think you need to be seeing some mildew, some like dirt build up, some overall backlog of grease and grime.
Look, I'm sure it's around.
If I could bring someone in to clean my oven range hood that has grease and fat's been building up for a decade, maybe. Like that makes sense because that's a fucking job I really couldn't be asked doing. But if it's just literally like, I could do with a bit of a mop, I could do dust. Nah, man, I'm not forking over hard-earned for that one.
Well, I guess that like a difference is where you would dust, he kind of gets in there with like a little fucking damp cloth and like really gets in the grooves, and it's a next level of clean, if you know what I mean.
But is it necessary? That's my question.
Look,
was it at a point where you could notice that dust that he just cleaned out? Like, did you walk in post the clean and go, fuck me, that little corner's a lot cleaner?
You're asking the wrong guy if it's necessary. I'd live in a garage. I'd live in a garage and sleep on a blow-up mattress,
I do live in my garage pretty much. Around my storage shit and empty beer bottles.
You're asking the wrong guy. But so the Ladybugs booked this guy and he came in and there was this situation, Greeno. He's been here for like, at this point, it was the afternoon and I'm like, you know what? I got work to do. So I just went in the office. I closed the door. I put headphones on. I'm like, I'm just going to focus and get through my fucking Friday day, my Friday shit. Like, let's fucking finish this week off on a high note kind of attitude, right? And I don't know, he's been here about an hour, and I'm like, I'm going to go out for a little cigarello, Greeno, but you know what? Look down at the pouch, and I'm like, getting low on the tobacco, Greeno. I'm going to have to duck out and get a little bit more tobacco. I've got enough for right now, but I'm going to want more later, and I don't want to have to go out later. This is about, lunchtime, 12:30, thereabouts. I'm like, this is a good time. There's no kids hanging around the shops or anything. There's no parents picking the kids up. I'll be in, I'll be out, I'll be straight back. I walk outside.
Lady Bugs are still in the home?
Hey?
Lady Bugs are still in the home, though?
She's still in the home. She's working away at her.
Oh, cool. No, I thought you were just like leaving some random dude clean your house.
Oh, no. She's still home. No, he's working away. She's still at home. I'm like, I walk out the front, and this guy, this cleaner guy, he's parked, Greeno, right across my driveway, like right in the street.
Why would you?
I don't know. So
you got a big, fat, wide driveway.
Yeah.
Surely.
Yeah.
Surely. You can look at that situation and be like, I can park anywhere here.
Yeah.
And I can move at any point.
So it's not a good sign. Like, if I see somebody who does that, I'm already, and like, I'm not doing it on purpose.
Move.
Well, yeah, I'll give him a dick move, definitely.
Dick.
But I'm already subconsciously forming an opinion of that person because, like,
we know his character.
Well, I don't know if it's character, but it's definitely like, this guy must be so dense though that he's not only parked in the wrong spot, he's parked in the only wrong spot. Like, you can park in the driveway and I'd still be able to get around you, or you could park next to the driveway and I'd be able to get out. But you've parked in the one spot that I can't get out from. Like, that's
and also common sense would indicate if you're going to fuck up anyone's driveway, fuck up the person next door's, not your customers.
Yeah,
park in front of their driveway.
Yeah. Do you want repeat business? Do you want to come back here? So,
that's an automatic dismissal for mine.
Like, right there and then, just get rid of it.
Right there and then, like, get out.
Well, you know what I'm like?
You're out.
I have to get to the shop because I've got to buy my bag of tobacco, and this guy's blocking the driveway. And now, you know what I'm like? I feel like an asshole now because I've got to go up to this guy and say, hey, mate, because he's working. And I'm like, look, man.
That's his own fault.
Mate, can you do me a favor? Can you move the car for me?
He's not doing you a favor. You're doing him a favor by not fucking tipping his car.
Yeah, I know.
Like a cow in a paddock, like pissed idiots.
Like Captain America. Yeah.
Like, I just, like, you got a big truck. I just would have fucking reversed into it.
Yeah. What, damage my car to get his out of the way?
Just on principle.
Yeah. Now clean that up, cunt.
I feel like that's the right thing to do.
Yeah. Well, so I went and got him. I'm like, look, man, can you do me a favor? Can you move your car? And he's like, where do you want me to move it to? And I'm kind of looking at him like, why are you asking me? Like, you know, you're in the one spot that I don't want you to be. I don't care where you move it to. Just fucking move it, you know. But I'm not like that. So I'm like, oh, look. And I go, look. He goes, can I park on the driveway? And I'm like, I would have normally have said yes, but this guy clearly had such poor kind of situational awareness. And I'm like, you know what? I literally said to Greeno, you know what? Don't park up on the driveway, mate. It's a bit tight. Because I thought, I don't trust this guy.
You could fit 9 cars in your driveway.
I can.
And still be able to get out. But I understand. I wouldn't trust him either.
No, I thought he's going to reverse into the fucking lounge room or something. You know? This fucking guy's clearly an idiot. Yeah. And I say, look, mate, just like, and I kind of point across the road and I say, mate, see that grass there in front of that gutter? And he's like, yeah.
Right
and I
there.
said, just park on that. And he goes, oh, okay. And I had to think about it for a second. I said, no, I can't say to this guy, park on the grass, because he will park on the grass.
Park literally on your front lawn.
And I yell out, hey, mate. And he kind of turns around. I'm like, on the street, like in front of the grass. And he goes, oh, Greeno, I swear to God, he goes to me, oh, okay.
No, he was about to literally park up on your lawn like he was at a bush bash. That's fucking sensational.
So I go out and I say, look, mate, I'm just going to need you to move your car. I'm going to be back in 10 minutes, so don't park in my spot and shit, you know. He's like, okay. So he moves his car. I come back in 10 minutes, all's good. He finishes up, he leaves, and, you know, the lady Bugs walks out, and I'm like, oh, okay, everything's good. Now, about half an hour later, Greeno, I get this kind of, I've got my headphones on, and I hear this, and I'm like, what the fuck's that? Like, and I kind of take one, you know that move where you take one earphone off. Yeah. And I'm like, is that you? And the lady Bugs is like, hey, come and have a look at this. I get the come and have a look at this.
Oh, that's never good.
That's never good, right? That's a bit of, boom. So I get this, like, come and have a look at this. I'm like, all right. And I go in and I'm led into the bathroom, Greeno, not like the ensuite, but the other bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, what do you see here? And I look down, and what the Lady Boogs has, Greeno, is one of those, those kind of fucking vase, like a vase thing. They put these sticks in it, and it's like this oil shit in the bottom.
The oil shit, yeah. I'm aware of the ones you're talking about. Yep.
Yeah, so she's got like this little cabinet in that bathroom, and there's like 2 candle things and one of those stick things with the oil in it. And she said, when I walked in, all of these things were lined up, one next to each other, like in a line. And I'm like, oh, okay. And she goes, that's not the way they normally are. And I'm like, oh, right. And she kind of moves them and she goes, have a look. And there's these big fucking blotches of oil, Greeno, on the fucking cabinet, Greeno.
Nice, Gary!
I swear to God, these huge. And what he's done, right? He's spilt the oil from the thing and it's seeped in because it's a wooden piece of, a wooden piece of material here. It's seeped. So it's there forever now, these big oil stains in this wood.
This is the new bathroom.
Yeah. And he's rearranged the things, like the little oil thing and the 2 candles, in such a way to cover it up.
Cover it up. Fucking genius. Well done. Yeah. Give me a nice Gary.
Nice Gary.
Nice, Gary!
This fucking idiot who couldn't figure out to move the car. So he's sorted it out that way. And now we've picked up this thing that's got the oil in it with the sticks. And it's actually leaking out the bottom. And on closer inspection, it's all it's all chipped and fucked, Greeno. He's dropped it. So he's dropped it. And we look down on the floor. There's now oil splotches on the floor and shit.
Oh, no.
And this fucking guy didn't own up to it. And now, but it makes perfect sense when you consider the whole situation with the driveway. Like, he took the one dumbest option. And then in this situation, like, he must have known we would notice. He must have known that we would see that. Like,
we would have worked it out, the fact that there's cracks in the bottom, there's oil fucking everywhere, and it was out of order.
No, he just left it that way and kind of was like, okay, see you later, big smiles.
Yeah.
He knows. That's the thing. He knows that he did it, and we know that he did it. But,
is this through like a reputable company, or is this like you found this guy in the yellow pages?
You're asking the wrong guy. I think he's a professional cleaner. Like, I think it's his job. You know what I mean? He was here at fucking middle of the day. So
yeah, but he's liable for fucking the insurance it's going to cost to repair that fucking thing.
We should hit him up for insurance, Greeno. For a jar with oil with sticks in it.
No, not the oil, the repairs to the stains in the woodwork.
Yeah, I know, right?
No, not the fucking jar. Who gives a fuck about the jar, man? Those things are so dumb. Like, fucking, he actually did you a favor getting rid of the stupid oil with sticks. Time for a break.
Do you like your novelty comedy songs organic? Handmade with painstaking care, put into every note? Well, look no further than Irrational Times. Using only the finest instruments to create an experience that your ears will thank you for later, Irrational Times attempts to elevate the whimsy to a desirable level. New songs and sketches every week, so check it out.
There's a place that we can go to watch old things. All the warm, fuzzy member berries it brings. It's a special little spot tucked away on D-Live. Enjoy the joy of Pessy. Campy old movies and old cartoons. We hope to see you over there very soon. It's our special little spot tucked away on D-Live. Enjoy the joy of Pessy. When we were kids and there wasn't any school, we'd sit and watch all the best cartoons, eating cereal until it was noon. We never thought that 30 years later it'd still be cool. Saturday night and cheesy movies, the ones that used to show us boobies. It's our special little spot tucked away on D-Live. Enjoy the joy of Pessy. Enjoy the joy of Pessy. Enjoy the joy of Pessy.
Now with less than 3% sport content. It's the starting block on TAVshow.com.
Yes, welcome back to the block, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, Tesla, SpaceX, galactic dildos. Did you see the SpaceX thing, Greeno, on Twitter before? They're now making rockets. You know how they always say that rockets are like very phallic things? They look like a penis.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now they're making rockets that are like kind of silver, like they look like that kind of classic silver chrome kind of finished dildo, Greeno.
Dildo.
Yeah, so then we've got flying chrome dildos heading into space at hundreds of miles an hour. Isn't it fucking amazing?
How is it? Think about it. There's method to the madness there, right? Like if you're trying to, send out a message to otherworldly beings.
Yeah.
Look, check us out.
Check out our big dildos. Yeah.
Big fat dildo.
Yeah. Would they know what a dildo? Do they have vaginas? Greeno in space.
Surely. Well, it doesn't matter about the vaginas. Like, surely they've got orifices out there. In the
do you sometimes wish that we were living in a world like that was interacting with other planets, so you could get like that cross planetary pussy, Greeno? Would you be a fan of that? Would you sample some of the local flavor if you traveled to Omicron Pussy I8? Would you? Or?
Well, I think it'd be rude not to. I'm not fucking racist, sir.
What happens on Neptune stays on Neptune, my
stays
man.
on Neptune, 100% right.
Chauvinists and sexists and misogynists and chauvinists and sexists.
Notice how we didn't even mention Uranus because we're not hacks.
No. We got to stick with Neptune.
Yeah.
The cleaner gag. Damo, time for Greeno to do some politics. Now, I talked on the show last week where
in the ass on Uranus.
I'm doing this week. I'm trying to simplify the election for the greater people because I don't pay much attention to any of the election shit any other year. Like I said, I rock up, I put my dick and balls on the little ballot, and I send it in, and everyone's happy days.
This is the first year I've said to you, Greeno, my best mate. I'm like, you know what, Greeno? I threw you the keys, and I'm like, why don't you drive this time? And you're like, really?
I drive the car.
Really, Boogs? You want me to drive? I'm like, yes, mate. I want you to drive, and I'm in the back seat now. I got my feet up on the front seat from the back seat. You know that move, Greeno? When you put your feet up on the shoulder of the passenger seat? Yeah, I'm doing that thing. Smoking a cigarette in the back of the car, kind of drinking like a little hip flask of whiskey. Life's fucking good back here. I'm not paying attention to the road. You're watching the road, the election road, Greeno.
Right, that's right. And I'm doing it in the right way. I'm looking at it. I'm treating it like a job interview. Yeah. And that's why we're looking at this thing for our particular show. You take a more serious analysis on your show, that's fine. On this particular show, we treat it like a job interview.
I don't know if I do serious, really. I mean, you were on my show when we were talking about the face mask with the built-in headphones, Greeno.
Nice,
okay. I will not listen to these wild accusations that I'm somehow more serious.
At some point, you do some actual analysis. Whereas this show, I just do stupid jokes. So I was talking last week about this thing is basically a job interview. The election is like a 6-week job interview where you're like, look, and then I realized if I went into a job interview and just going, hey, the other guys out there, they're shit cunts.
Yes.
Like, I don't know how much that would fly.
You're going to hire the least shittiest cunt that you can.
Yeah,
find.
it's just like, but that's the thing. I don't need to tell you what I want to do.
Yeah.
All I need to do, I'm not going to answer your questions because that's not how an election works, apparently.
That's right.
All I'm going to do is go, other bloke shit cunt. Like, can you tell us about your policy and what you want to do for the next 4 years? Other bloke shit cunt.
Other bloke's shit cunt. What are you going to do, though? Well, the other guy.
No. We don't answer those questions. Shit cunt.
And I mean, look, you know what? Like, Albo's.
It's a picture of me making a curry. That's how it works.
Yeah, and look, Albo's pretty bad. Like that's really been his kind of only move. At least Morrison pretends like he's not trying to do it, but Albo just openly Albo's playing this constant game of, but it's not rugby league with he's a shit cunt because they can ask him anything. It can be like, Albo, what'd you have for dinner last night? And he'll go, Well, when we're having dinner at home and we're talking about a family, one of the things that comes up is the price of steak. And Scott Morrison is such a terrible prime minister that steak prices are going through the roof. It's like, Albo, fucking give it a rest, mate. It can't all be he's a shit cunt. At least Scott Morrison's got this. At least Scott Morrison's got this like aloof attitude. He's like, I'm not even going to bother with what that guy's talking about. He's a fucking idiot, you know.
He's a shit cunt too.
I don't do anything, you know. I'm just ghosted here. This guy's fucking buried himself. Like, it's fucking great. That's more Morrison's go. At least I can respect that.
He can't even answer a question. Yes. He's like, no, that's not my job to answer questions, mate. Now, the other thing I realised, once again, we're treating this like a job interview, right?
Yes.
So I've done some bit more research this week, and I realised that the election is a situation. Imagine going for a job interview, Damo, where before you went into the interview, you wanted to sell yourself to the employer, right?
Yeah.
You're sitting there, I need to sell myself. I need to get some advertising. But then going and hacking into the employer's bank account.
What?
And fucking spending a shit ton of the employer's money to put up posters about yourself before the interview. Just rock up and go, hey, look, I know I don't work for you yet, but I'm going to take a bunch of your money and fucking put up some posters about me. How does, and I'll put up a bunch of ads about me. I'll put in like little sneaky radio ads. I'll hack into their YouTube, put in some ads there. You want to, Pornhub. If you want to get in their Pornhub, we'll hack into that as well. And just
imagine seeing like Anthony Albanese before you jerk off on Pornhub.
So it's political ads. Definitely gonna ruin the boner. But
Greeno, look, you bring up a very good point, but I want to put something to you. I want to give you a little bit of devil's advocate here, Greeno.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I understand the frustration of them spending taxpayers' money to, celebrate this election circle jerk, but the alternative is, Greeno, they just take money from anybody. Now,
which they do anyway.
So, like, look, I agree with you, but I'm almost at the point because I don't want, look, take America as an example, right? $1 billion in an election. That's fucking ridiculous. That's nuts. And we're doing our best to get up there now because we just copy whatever they do. So it's like, oh, okay, well, we need to start spending 400 million, 500 million. It's like, no. I reckon just give them all, let's give them all $1 million. Let's make it a game show. How about this for a fucking idea?
Like a supermarket sweep.
Yes, we give them $1 million starting budget and then Australia votes like fucking Big Brother. But by the end of the election cycle, how did you spend your million? How good did you go? How far could you stretch it? And then by the end, we vote via text message. Okay, fuck them.
100%. That's a fucking great idea. We're fixers here. I know nothing about politics. Yes. You know nothing about math. Between us, we fixed it. Now, for me personally, every election, it generally comes down to who I think is the best economic manager. Mm-hmm. So I don't fucking have a particular party. I just go, look, which of these two particular parties do I think is not going to fucking send the country completely broke and help out me out financially? That's who I generally is going to vote for the most part. That's my key kind of issue, and then I'll kind of work it from there. Mm-hmm. Now, if you can get to the end of an election cycle and still call everyone a shit cunt and still have $500,000 in the bank, I'm voting for that guy because I'm like, well, he's a very smart economic manager because he managed to call the other guy a shit cunt the entire time and he only spent $500,000 where the other bloke spent the $4 million and still shit cunted it up.
That's it.
Like, that's the guy I want to vote for. This is a fucking great idea.
I reckon you should how about this, Greeno? How about this for an idea? What if you got 1.5 votes for every dollar you save?
Exactly. So it becomes a budgeting thing. It's like, well, I could go on this particular radio show, but that's going to cost me some money, and I could call them shit cunt over here. But if I just do it in a private setting for free, maybe I'll save that $1.50, and there comes a bit of strategizing.
Well, maybe the guy who spends $1 on the election, which is literally buying the sausage sandwich when he goes to vote, maybe he wins by default because he gets 999,999 times 1.5 votes in the bank already, ready to go, Green.
He's already heads up.
He doesn't even have to campaign.
Yeah.
Fucking.
See, this is why Greeno does politics, mate. This is the way we're fucking fixing shit.
I know. We'll fix this country in no time, you and me.
Exactly. You came across this weird flex, bro.
Weird flex, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, unfortunately, one of the side effects of a federal election campaign in this country, Greeno, is all of these B-grade celebrities who latch their demon-like lips onto the genitals of the electoral leaders and just kind of fucking follow them around and suckle for the next 6 weeks. They like to get involved. They want to be opinionated. They're edgy, Greeno, these B-grade celebrities, and they come out with things that are often own goals. This particular one comes from friend of the show, Francis Leach, Greeno. There's
a lot of Francis in today's rundown, I've realised.
There's a bit of Francis.
It's back-to-back Francis, and then Francis is in segment 3 too.
He is. Francis Leach, who was what, ABC kind of sport guy back in the day? Triple J sport guy? Is that him?
Because it turns out I was following Francis. I'm like, why the fuck am I following Francis? Why am I getting all these weird Francis tweets? And then I realised I was following him from back when he used to be a sports reporter.
He used to be a
10 years ago.
Yeah.
And then now he's just a bitter old man, as you pointed out.
Well, no, incorrectly. No, I actually said he tweets like an old woman. It's a difference.
My apologies. Yeah.
So he's getting involved in the election campaign because it's B-grade election campaign season, and that's what B-graders do. And he says, guarantee the essential services we all rely on. This is a little bit of an attack on, Josh, what's his name? Frydenberg, Greeno? Josh Frydenberg?
He's been getting a lot of publicity this week. Like, Josh must be in a fair bit of trouble because the Liberals have really fucking put out the marketing hardcore this week.
Oh, mate.
I've seen nothing but Josh this week, so he must be in a fair bit of shit.
Mate, he's the treasurer in a government when inflation's going through the roof. He better be in fucking trouble.
Nice,
you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you should be in trouble. Like, whether it's fair or not, it doesn't matter. Whoever's holding the fucking lever at the time when it happens, they're blamed for it. That's just the rules. It's just the way it goes.
This is my first interest rate hike since I've become a homeowner.
Yeah,
like,
and we've been down near zero for basically 20 years. Since 9/11, basically, we've been down near zero.
Yeah, absolutely nothing, but it's gone up triple. And you're like, what? Well, what do you mean? What do you mean that's going to go up?
Well, it just means there's going to be another housing crisis right around the corner. That's what it means. And then if you're in a position, if you're lucky enough, if you own enough equity, that's the thing. You've got to have a little bit of equity tucked away because then you can always borrow against it, if you need to, and just pull yourself out if you just need to scrape by. But, if you got enough equity, then of course, when people, like, the upside is when people start getting kicked out of their homes because the banks start raping them, then you can buy them cheap.
Nice,
Get in while you can. Then suddenly there's not a housing crisis because there's fucking houses everywhere because no one can afford them anymore.
Congratulations, Chinese Communist Party employees. You're about to get some more investment properties around Sydney. Congratulations. So Francis Leach wants to get involved in the election. He wants to get on the end of that algorithm, Greeno, and he wants to reboot his popularity. And he makes a little point here, and he's basically slagging off the treasurer of the current government, and he gives a couple of points why he's slagging them off. Look, he didn't order the vaccines, okay? He didn't make the vaccines. So he's basically saying, look what a bad guy this is because of these things that he didn't do. He goes on to say, and this is a weird flex, bro, didn't build any quarantine facilities.
Nice, Gary!
Which I thought was interesting because there were people so far to the left of Francis Leach that you would think that they're back around the other way, who would say, yes, we didn't really like the idea of the quarantine facilities, because I thought Francis was the kind of guy who didn't want to lock people up in facilities, Greeno, when they come to the country. I thought that was evil. No. What we want to do is we want to let the foreigners who arrive here in and not put them in a facility. But when the Australian citizens return during COVID, we need to lock them up and put them behind barbed wire. I mean, it's fucking nice, Gary. So weird flex, bro. I hate this government because they didn't build more fucking Korean prisons. I mean, well done. Well done, Francis Leach. I mean, he's a political fucking genius, this guy, isn't he?
He's got it covered. He's looking good.
Well done.
I'll tell you who does have the politics covered. It's the Daily Telegraph, or the Melbourne equivalent, who've put out a bit of fucking more political woof wars.
Woof wars, we love them.
We took the political woof wars last week. We had the Prime Minister last week. And this is when I knew the Treasurer was in trouble, because this is a double down. This is both a woof
and a
wah. Because He's like, fuck me. Like, I'm in so much trouble right now. We're about to add an extra 2.25 to 0.10 points to the cash rate. Fucking, we need the kids and we need the dog and we need a front page. Now, apparently this is news. This isn't propaganda. We ain't living in fucking China right here.
No.
This is apparently news with Josh Frydenberg, his wife and his 2 kids. And
Fight of my life, Greeno. Fight of my life. With his career on the line, Federal Treasurer warns electing teal independence will be a horror show for our country. You know, there's been a lot of talk of this teal independence, Greeno. What that is basically is sane people who have voted Liberal all these years and then have watched the Liberal Party over the last 5-6 years and decided, nah. I'm not having any of that. I'm going to go to someone else. And then the Liberal Party's coming out and saying, hang on, if you don't keep voting for us, the country will fall apart. And it's like, oh, nice, Gary. That's literally blaming the victim, guys. Yeah. You know?
Exactly.
Well done. So, but hey, look, if you get on the Sunday paper, Greeno, with a pug, that's a nice little pug they've got there.
Yeah, that's a wolf.
That's a wolf, and you've got the kiddos. Greeno hugging. One of the kids is hugging the dog as well.
The wife's hugging him. Big old family, man.
That's right.
Now I'm looking at this guy, and I'm looking at the mouse he's got to feed. I don't trust him with my money. I don't like. He's going to struggle to make ends meet with all the government rorts there.
You reckon?
So I'm looking at that and I'm like, that's a man. He probably needs a bit more of a paycheck.
Yeah.
Maybe the leader of the opposition.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, I'd be open to the idea of the opposition. Like, I want to see what the opposition treasurer has got to offer. But unfortunately, Greeno, he never takes pictures with either puppies or babies. So fuck him.
No, he's definitely not getting on any.
He's not getting elected.
Yeah. Fuck no.
He's not getting my vote. If I don't see a cute dog in his lap at some point, I'm not voting for him.
Not voting for him. That's what they should put on all the posters. Once again, forget your little I'm for this and the little smiley face.
How can you trust Chris Bowen? He doesn't even own a puppy.
He doesn't have a fucking dog. That's not even fucking Frydenberg's dog. I guarantee it. That's a fucking.
That's a ring-in dog.
That's a stooge dog. I guarantee it's a stooge dog. 100% stooge dog. All right, that's enough fucking about Australia being shit. Now let's
like
talk
stories about pinatas.
You've got a story, Greeno. Come on.
No, not a story. I've got us talking about how we're number one, Davo.
Are we? When are we number? We're never number one at anything. That's such a lie.
We are number one. I really should have. I forgot to fucking load up all my pictures. What's this story? This is about fucking Rona, isn't it?
I like stories about pinatas.
That's not a story. It's something about where number one is. It's like fucking Rona infection rates or some shit.
Oh, no. You know what it is, Greeno? It's
now, what have we got here? Now, wait, I'm pulling up. Here we go. Daily new confirmed COVID-19 cases per million people.
Yes.
Currently sitting.
But, Greeno, hang on. Before, I think you need to present this with the appropriate level of respect. Now, hear me out here. Come with me here on this, okay? Because I've got something for you. Now,
we're number one, though. Don't fucking ruin we're number one.
No, I'm definitely not ruining we're number one. But there's a way to approach these things. Now, we have done segments in the past, Greeno, where we have kind of, in a mocking way, compared New South Wales to our great nemesis, Well, one of our great nemesis. Really, everybody hates us because we're the best. So, fuck them. But one of our great nemesis, Victoria. We were mocking
Dictator Dan was fucking trying to take our hatred.
That's right. Dictator Dan was like, we don't want to end up like New South Wales. And we're like, hang on, what are you talking about? Because we're the competitive ones. We're like, we've got way more COVID cases than you, bro.
Fucking COVID out the arse right now. We're getting arse COVID. That's how we're going.
That's right. We're killing it in the COVID stats. Sydney, fuck yeah, bro. Sydney for life.
Outbreaks everywhere. We've got fucking cruise ships coming in.
That's it. We're spreading COVID like you wouldn't fucking believe.
We're going to add in the water, mate. Fuck.
Right. We've got underground nightclubs. People are fucking and coughing in each other's faces. It's fucking amazing. We're spreading COVID like wildfire out there. Yeah. We fucking love it. So we're
Victoria. So we're going to fuck it up.
Victoria can go suck a dick, Greeno. Fuck them. So we've been doing this segment for a while, but we have taken a little bit of backlash from people who have said, "Well, you're not doing it seriously enough. This is a serious topic. You've got to treat it with the amount of respect." So, in the spirit of that, I wanted to treat this next story with the amount of respect it deserves. So, how about this, Greeno?
So,
All right, we're back here with the daily COVID-19 update, ladies and gentlemen. Lots of COVID cases going around the world. If we check the stats here, Australia is kicking everybody's ass. 1.5K COVID cases for every 100,000. Europe trailing behind in second place, the United Kingdom in third. The United States lowly, 160.55. As we go to our reporter down there on the ground, Greeno, what do you got for us, Greeno? How are the Americans going to make this up, my friend?
It's a big call here because they're looking at 10% of the overall Australian cases in the space right now. They got a big number to make up. They got 90%. They're coming into their winter season. They're coming out of their winter season. It's going to make it even harder. Australia's coming into their winter season. We're spreading. We're reducing our restrictions. We're just going straight out there. I can see the Australians extending this lead, taking it from 1.5, pushing it up to a good 3. Good 3 clean up there. I reckon we can get further ahead. Europe's got all of those countries to worry about that. We're fucking way ahead there. This is Australia. Australia's not going to. It's going to take a choke of amazing proportions for Australia to lose this lead compared to America. We're number 1, baby. We're number 1.
Yeah, I tell you what, Greeno, you got to hand it to those kangaroo fuckers down there. I mean, they really know how to spread a fucking disease. Am I right? Well done, Australia. We'll be right back after this with the latest AIDS numbers. And don't forget the Cancer Hour, 11 p.m., hosted by Billy Bob. Let's go.
It's the JJ Stoner Spring Collection, the perfect attire for any and every occasion you can think of this season. Like we were in the mosh pit full of sweat and everyone's slapping, hitting, and pulling on you. This shit won't rip! Lunch at your favorite cafe? Brunch with the girls? These stylish ensembles will give you the confidence you need to look and feel your best. Or if you're getting arrested for possession, it comes with a built-in police stick-proof body armor. Keep swinging, pigs! Call now, and your order will come with a complimentary ounce of that dankest bubblegum slurricane that the South has to offer. But don't forget the wall tapestry! If you need to cover your wall, it works!
Hello, my name is Frozen Asian, and I'd like to tell you about my show, The Sunday Night Shit Show, every Sunday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Along with good conversations and laughing at funny and weird shit we find on the internet, we also have the Hat Cam, where I showcase my myriad of great-looking hats. Here is a testimonial from a great friend of mine who has enjoyed my hats lately.
I hope your next hat is a bullet. Jesus Christ, what are you, fucking Asian Dick Tracy? What's wrong with you? Why do you have to ruin my evening? Like, I was just gonna listen to my buds do their show, and you just gotta do that. You do the show without the hat.
So you're not enjoying it?
No!
Dude, Asian
come
Dick
on,
Tracy.
secretly you enjoy it.
You look like you're going undercover in Argentina, but it's not working.
I hate you. I hate you.
Oh, come on, you secretly love it.
No, I openly hate it.
And there you have it. So subscribe to the Sunday Night Shit Show at youtube.com/Sunday Night Shit Show. And hope to see you there on Sunday nights. Bye.
Welcome to The Starting Block. Follow on Twitter at The Starting Block. Drop the K at the end. Find the podcast on iTunes or on tavshow.com.
Yes, back on the block, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Anyway, something I didn't notice, we've been looking at those numbers until I was just staring at the outbreak. The whole point of that joke was like, we're way ahead of the US. Good on us. Yeah. I didn't realize there was a world number in that stats, and we're fucking smashing it. The world is at 78.36. We're at 1,534.
Fucking nice, Gary.
So we are dominating the whole world.
And you know what? Isn't it so reassuring, Greeno? Like, I mean, obviously, looking at this graph, horrifically, we must be in the grips of a COVID fucking nightmare. Like, people are just dropping dead in the street. But it's like, I go out there and everyone's like, "Hey, how you going? Hey, how's everything? How's everything? Yeah, good, mate, good. Nobody's wearing a mask. Everybody's getting on along fine. You know, I don't think there's any tragedy.
That might explain those numbers. That's
what we're thinning the herd. You reckon? Maybe life will be more, you know, casual once we.
Yeah,
I'm legit
the only one wearing masks into my kids' daycare these days, and I'm like, well,
I don't see any, dude. I don't go out that often anymore, but I don't see anyone wearing a mask anywhere I go.
I'm in a situation where my wife is literally in full.
I know
fucking,
it's different for you. You have to consider that shit.
Because
I'm just saying, as an observation, I don't see anyone.
No, I'm with you. We kind of joke about it because, like, my wife sent me pictures of like devastation that's happening in her fucking like aged care facility.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, everyone's rocking up, going, Mother's Day fucking stalls, fucking rock on up, dick out, cock out, it doesn't matter. Like,
dick out at the Mother's Day stall.
Why not?
Drop it in the truffle, Greeno.
That's it.
Yeah.
No one gives a fuck anymore. It's just like, I know there's literally a quarter of Australia has been infected since the start of the year, which is just an insane fucking number.
Yeah. Have you had it? You haven't had it, have you?
No, because I still wear masks and shit, and I don't really go out and fucking interact with people.
I think I had it like a couple of years ago, but as I get further away from the experience, then I feel like, oh, maybe I didn't, you know. But then maybe that's just like the time, you know. It gets less harsh the further on you go, you know. And when you look back, you're like, actually, I'm not sure it was that bad. But if you do think about it, you were in bed going, you know, fucking kill me, mate.
Like, I had a flu probably 2 years ago, just before the Rona, and that was the worst. That was the worst I'd felt. Yeah. Like, I remember.
It was about the same time. Look, dude, it was about the same time because remember you came over here and like you were sick like a little bit before, but it was like you were better now. And then remember, like we got sick like a week after. I'm not saying it had anything to do with you coming here. Fuck you. Fuck you.
I was literally on death's door when I got sick, mate. I wouldn't have got out of bed and rocked up to your place if I was feeling in any way, shape, or form.
It's just the way it worked out. And then I remember the lady Boogs got really sick. And I was kind of like keeping her in the bedroom, locking her in there. And I'm like, look, just sing out when you want some fucking chicken soup, okay? And I'll bring it in, but I don't want you walking around. I don't want you touching things in the kitchen. Just fucking stay in there and be safe.
Stay away. Yeah.
Yeah, and we nursed her back to health. And I'm like, oh, phew, that was lucky. And then 2 days later, I start getting the fucking sniffles. And I'm like, oh, no, I got it. And I think that might have been that, Greeno. But then, I don't know if I've had it or not. I'm not gonna ask. I don't care. I'm still here, you know.
Move on. No, exactly.
Suck a dick reporting.
It literally is a situation of like it becomes that Matrix thing where you're trying to dodge bullets and shit. That's what dodging COVID is in this one at the moment. Where between like my kids at daycare, school, my wife in an outbreak at her work, visiting family members over Easter, and then they fucking caught it, and it's just like, well, we saw them 4 days ago. Then you're doing fucking tests, and I'm like, at this point, I'm just giving up on the fucking tests because you know they're not like that's one of the biggest scams ever. Like we want to fucking turn into Joe Rogan here. Like fucking those rats are the biggest fucking money making scam I've ever seen because the amount of people that are positive that are taking it and like, no, you're negative, and then they're going out catching it or have already had it. And then 4 days later, they're testing positive, but they were positive 4 days before. And you're like, well, fucking, why did we spend $80 on these fucking tests? Like,
well, I mean, like at the vaccine place, I remember Greeno. Like, remember that I was telling you that because I went to the fucking one in the stadium. It was a surreal experience. I did a podcast.
On his first day, you did it on this show.
That's it. And I I got literally as soon as I got home from that, I went and like did a stream. So if you want to check it out, Daily Boogie.
It was the funniest. It was good.
I got vaxxed. I think it's I got vaxxed. Ask me anything. Something like that. It's funny, but it was such a surreal moment because it was like you're in a dystopian, fucking futuristic kind of bleak movie script. Like we're all being funneled into this fucking stadium, Greeno, to be administered. You know, it was quite dark and macabre when you look back on it. You know what I mean? But No.
So you did it the wrong way. You should have done my one. We did ours at our local titty bar.
Yeah, I should have done your one where you lie about it on your fucking forms.
Nice,
Say that you're vaccinated when you're not. I should have done that.
We went down to our local titty bar. Strippers were administering it. It was good times.
Would you? I'd be down. But how many vaxes can I take in a day? If I'm taking them at the titty bar.
Yeah, we're going back. Have you been back? No, I haven't none. Better give me two.
I can't even remember the last time I set foot in a titty bar, Green. I think I'd feel very out of place if I walked into a titty bar these days.
Yeah, it's an old school.
Well, you become we're now the old guys. Remember when you were 18, 19? We went to titty bars a couple of times when we were 18, 19, 20.
18, 19, yeah.
We did titty bars in 2 states, motherfucker.
We did titty bars at like 10 a.m. open. Rocked up in the morning.
The good old Vauxhall Inn, Greeno at Grandpa.
That was the one. No one goes in the morning. They're like, why are people here? We don't understand. We're like, well, we've got tit and we're fucking 18. We've got nothing better to do. It's a Wednesday.
Because I heard about this place because I was studying like just around the corner. And when I was going to the fucking place where I was studying, it was like 7 a.m, and this place was fucking selling beer. And I'm like, I might just stop in on my way. And, I'd grab a couple of long necks, Greeno, for the 10-minute walk to the fucking
Nice.
at 7 a.m. And you walk in there at 7 a.m, and you, like Greeno said, like 10 a.m. there was a titty shift on, and it's like, what's going on at 10 a.m. in this place?
Yeah.
It's a different fucking world, Greeno.
Well, there's people in there.
There was
plenty of people in there.
Yeah. I think they shut it down now. Incidentally, all these years later, I don't think that place is even there anymore.
Wouldn't surprise me. 10 a.m. tit,
10 a.m. tit. You would think that 10 a.m. tit is like, there was actually this place in Sefton. Do you know where Sefton is?
Nah, not really.
Sefton's like around the Villawood area, like on, like out the back of Parramatta when you're heading out.
Oh,
towards,
yeah.
Yeah. So it's out there, and there was this place in Sefton. I think it's called the Sefton Inn, and they used to do Greeno, get this, topless at 6 a.m. 6 a.m. they would open with topless waitresses, and it was called Tits on Toast.
Nice, Gary!
Tits on Toast.
I don't know. Look, 6 a.m. is a bit early.
6 a.m. Well,
just a little bit too early. Like
I never went to it, but I did cruise past a couple of times because it just happened to be on my way home back then. And it was literally all the fucking night shift guys, So it was basically it was a nightclub for the night shift guys. 6 a.m. is when you knock off,
Yeah, no, fair call. Yeah. Look, here's the thing. I feel like this is where we need Steph and Sears poll. Like, what is the most appropriate time for morning strip club tit?
Look, BE in the chat, Greeno. BE, we used to do tits on toast after night shift, 6 a.m. There you go.
Nice,
there you go. We have confirmation. Tits on toast.
There you go. Well done. Good to know. All right, well, maybe.
What were we talking about? What were we doing?
We were about to do Fans Love Their Talk TV, Damo.
Fans love their Talk TV.
We've talked about the plight that is Thursday night footy, where fans, despite the fact that the NRL keeps telling us they love their Thursday night footy, it seems to rate below things called Gogglebox, where it's just a whole bunch of crazy malacas watching TV and talking about TV. And by a fair way. Like, it gets outrated by most things. So we always like to keep an eye on TV ratings to see if anything that kind of falls into the realm of, like, should we get big fucking ratings based on publicity or what they're telling us?
Based on personality, based on publicity, based on hype, Greeno.
Spot on. So Rupert Murdoch, started his talk.
Murcock, we're calling.
Nice,
Rupert Murcock.
Started this Talk TV show. Got him Piers Morgan. That was their big sign.
Piers Morgan.
Right. I don't like Piers. I find absolute dickhead. Never seen anything that I've enjoyed of his. So just generally avoid Piers. Everything I've seen him on is generally the cricket, and normally acts like a fucking dickhead in that. So realise avoid his regular shit.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Look, I sympathise with you. I don't dislike him. Like, I don't really care about Piers Morgan. He's just he's kind of a moaning British, well, we need to make sure that we buttress ourselves against these political hate. He's just another one of them, Like, I don't find him particularly one way or the other. But Greeno, his show, right? They were hyping this thing on fucking Foxtel for months and months and months. And you know me, I only watch Foxtel when I'm watching the football, right? And they were playing these ads during the football for fucking Piers Morgan's new Sky News show. Now, I'm just trying to find on YouTube the ad for this fucking Sky News show. I wish I had recorded it.
No, I've seen it. It's fucking horrible.
It's fucking hilarious. Sky News Australia. Okay, here we go. Because he launched this new show and they had this kind of little trailer for him. Oh, I can't find it. Anyway, they had this little trailer for Piers Morgan. It was like, it's like,
This was the uncensored, right? It was
yes,
like
uncensored.
Morgan.
That's the one.
Uncensored.
Oh, it was so cringe. It's so bad. So he once upon a time, Piers Morgan was a big dick in media. You know, he was a big. Didn't he go from fucking England to the States? Wasn't he in the States?
Yeah.
You know, so he hit the big time. He got there. He made it, right?
Was he on Fox News, perhaps?
Fox, yeah, but he was on like on Good Morning Britain or something, and then he went to he did like late night news kind of talk show, like a kind of Tucker Carlson type show on one of the news stations. Then he went back to the UK, and now he's come here to Australia. We didn't invite him, mind you. I didn't invite him. Nobody really cares about Piers Morgan here. He's a British guy, you know, and we don't really like them very much. So, so Piers Morgan's out here and he's doing this show, and the way they advertised it on Foxtel Green, I swear to God, it was like with news music, boom, and it's the same old voiceover guy who must have been doing it for the last 100 years. You know that guy? You know the guy. And it's like, Piers Morgan, saying things you can't say. It's like, they're trying to cancel people on Twitter. It's like, Piers Morgan, uncensored. And it's like, we'll stand up to those woke mobs and the cancel culture. And I was like, oh, God, stop.
Nice, Gary.
Stop. So I'm not surprised when I see this. Rupert Murdoch's Talk TV television channel has been rated as having, quote, 0 viewers. Now, they don't actually have 0, but they have so few that it doesn't register.
It doesn't register. There's so little people watching it come out as
it's
zero.
Not 0. It's compared to everyone. It's relative to every other thing that's on. You know what I mean?
Correct. Now, this is the official ratings, though, right? So
That's
their
right.
official ratings, when they pull up the numbers, show 0. Because there's not enough people watching to register anything other than 0. Now, for context, this particular show, our ratings are based on fucking viewers. So our 6 is fucking 600% more than Rupert Murdoch's Talk TV based on their rating.
So we're rating better than Piers Morgan.
600% better.
Officially.
With our 6 viewers. 600% better than Piers Morgan, because we can prove that we got 6 viewers. They can't prove shit. They got nothing. They're on 0.
Oh, that was the dumbest bit we've ever done.
No, fuck, we've done way dumber bits than that. Like this one, Story of 2022, Damo. This is the dumbest bit.
Oh, mate. No, this isn't us, though. This isn't on us. This is not my fault, okay? But this is the story
You
of
set up with the
2022.
rundown.
Yeah, but it's not my fault. I didn't do it. But this is definitely the best story that, you know, of this year. And it's like when you see the best try of the year or the best mark of the year, the best goal of the year, when it happens, you know, it doesn't matter what happens for the rest of the year. Nothing's going to beat that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nothing's going to beat this. I've had a penis on my arm for 6 years. Now I finally feel like a real man.
Nice, Gary.
That's the headline.
Yeah. All right. Now, look, we need to deep dive. Firstly, how to begin with? Let's look at the how.
Well, let me give you the subheading. A British dad was left with a replacement penis attached to his arm for 6 years after his original appendage fell off in the toilet.
Okay. So, all right, cool. That kind of answers the how.
I'm so sorry.
No. Just fucking no. We need to talk about this. So it is his own dick.
Ridiculous story.
So it's his own dick. He's rocked up to the urinal and the thing's fallen off. He's like, look, I better take this with me better duck on down to the emergency department. So he's ducked on down to the emergency department. Now, you've got a couple of options when you duck on down to the emergency department. They've gone, look, Jim, we've got 2 options. We can attach it back to your crutch, or we can whack it on your forearm. And Jim's thought about it for a
I've
minute,
always wanted to fist fuck a chick.
and he's like, fucking, let's go to the forearm, eh? It's fucking, I wear long shirts anyway. I can just tuck it underneath. Let's go to the forearm.
Oh, this way I can put my fist in her ass and my cock in her cunt and everything works out.
So he's got. So then, after having it attached to his forearm,
Minister of Fun, give me in the chat, Greeno, says, I still want to know how badly he had to treat his penis for it to just fuck off into the toilet.
Nice, Gary.
Very fair
What was
point,
he
Jimmy.
doing to it?
What was he doing to it? Is it a John Wayne Rabbit situation? What
Because
happened?
they don't explain. They say it fell off. No, penises don't just fall off unless he's a leper. Unless he's got leprosy.
He could be a leper. But once
then
again,
how
why
is he
didn't-
growing another penis on his arm if he's a leper
Did he
then?
grow one, or did they just attach the existing? That's what I'm saying. Like, he's just attached to his forearm. And why did he take 6 years to then go, nah, let's put it back to the original spot?
I don't know what's happening.
How does he take a piss? Like, how? Come at his forearm now? Like, is it attached to a vein? I don't understand.
he just stands there like Iron Man and sprays it out of his arm. Like he kind of points at the urinal trough, Greeno. He can piss right in your face when he gives you the don't argue.
Imagine, because I'm looking at this dude, and they've had to like pixelate his forearm, right? Imagine this dude on the campaign trail trying to shake fucking people's hand.
Oh, mate,
That's a bit awkward.
You know what I think though? I'm going to give them a dick move.
You dick.
Because don't censor it. I want to see this penis on his arm.
Yeah, I think this is made up.
Pixar, it didn't happen.
Yeah, this is clickbait. No, I want to see his crutch. Fuck the forearm.
Show me the penis area.
I want to see what's happening in the crutch situation.
Yeah.
Because after 6 years, did the fallen off bit just heal back over, or
Mate,
is
I'm
there
not.
still
Mate, I'm not
bruising?
interested. I'm not interested in your wrist, dick. Show me your patch.
What are you that? Like, fucking, I need more credibility check on this one. We need a Sky News debate. We can get Piers Morgan on this.
Yeah.
Imagine this dude rocking up. That'll get the fucking ratings up to 1.
A doctor billed him the new 6-inch member, and it was due to be attached in 2015, but due to a lack of oxygen in his blood, that means he's an alcoholic, doesn't it? It was grafted temporarily to his arm. Then hospital delays and the COVID pandemic meant the £50,000 or $89,000 Australian, Greeno, NHS funded. Oh, so the taxpayers paid for this. There you go.
Nice,
another one for
Gary.
Albo and Scotty to argue about.
To fucking argue.
Yeah.
How many fake dicks can Scotty and Albo put on their forearms in the rest of this 2 weeks?
Well, listen,
81,000,
Scott
by the
Morrison.
way.
Listen, Scott Morrison has done a terrible job. We have recorded, we have, done the numbers, and we figured out that Scott Morrison has paid for exactly 0 arm dicks.
0 dicks.
0 arm dicks to be grown on the sides of men. So, clearly he doesn't give a fuck about the health of men in this country. Dickless men.
Yeah.
Then hospital delays, COVID pandemic meant the 89,000 NHS funded appendage had to stay there during turning Malcolm's life upside down. An elderly lady once asked him to get an item from the top shelf of a supermarket, but the willy came loose and swung down near her head.
Nice, Gary.
I'm telling you, this is the best story that I've ever seen in my life.
I like that lady. Like, that
life.
deer has peaked at that point. That dude's cock falls out of his forearm while he's grabbing some groceries for you. That's a big day for her.
Listen to this, Greeno. A keen darts player. He also told how he learned to tuck his arrows under it.
Nice, Gary.
180.
180. Oh, look, we've got diagraphs. Yeah, look.
Yeah, excellent. So his cock just fell off, eh?
Just fell off. They don't explain.
No, that's a fair point. Now, my next question, what happened to the balls, Damo?
Yeah, are they still there?
Are the balls still there? Is it just the cock that fell off, or are they going to put some balls in later?
Here's a question for you without notice.
I like stories about pinatas.
Let's let's say, Greeno, you're kidnapped by terrorists, right? And you're marched down to like a basement somewhere, and they give you a choice: cock or balls. What are you taking?
What's left or what's coming off?
Like, what are they? They're going to cut one off. Cock or balls?
Balls.
You'd take the balls off, leave the cock.
Yeah. Because what am I going to do with fucking? What am I going to do with a bunch of balls and a cock there?
Set of balls and no cock.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you could grow one on your arm. Have you missed the whole point of the fucking story we've been talking about for 10 minutes, Greeno? You can grow one on your arm.
You haven't established what happened to this dude's balls yet.
Well, now we know, though, like, you can keep your balls and just grow an arm cock.
We don't know. Did his balls fall off too? Were the balls still there? What happened to the balls?
You could grow
Did the
a
balls
bicep.
just heal up over the gap? Like, I don't fucking understand.
You could grow a bicep cock, Greeno, and just attach that instead. Attach that to the balls. I don't see where you're going to hang the balls off your chin. Where are you going to hang them? Off your tit, one on each tit, Greeno.
Yeah. Or off the ass, like fluffy dice. Off
I reckon you hang them. I reckon you hang them on your belly like hernias, because no one will ask and they won't want to look at them.
No.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There you go. Nice, Gary.
Nice,
Solving the world's
Gary.
problems. Well done. The story.
Damon, old man Francis. We're back to fucking Francis Leach.
Oh, do we want to do this one? Yeah.
Nah,
skipping that.
I want to talk about last
Give something
night.
else.
Let's
do some sport or something. Fuck it.
We're about to. Have you watched the Greg Norman doco that's on KO at the moment?
No, but I jumped in. Remember, I was telling you earlier how I had to go and pick up tobacco today. So I jumped in the car and I'm driving and I listened to the radio for 5 minutes, like on the way to the shop. But I heard what I heard was, the world number 238 has been signed up to Greg Norman's Rebel Tour. And I'm like, what Rebel Tour? What the fuck? Is there like a super league of golf now?
Yeah, there is. So the Saudis are like, fuck, we want to start our own golf tour. No women.
In the desert.
In the desert, and they're going to pay a shit ton to get some golfers over there.
Well, they just signed up. Apparently, the world ranked 238.
Lee
so
Westwood
nice, Gary.
Nice, Gary. No, because that was what Phil Mickelson was in trouble for, because he signed up, and then the PGA Tour were like, "Oh, excellent, Phil, you're now no longer allowed to play on our tour."
No, that's not true, because the golf clubs give the invitations out, not the PGA Tour. Isn't that right? Like, don't the golf clubs, like Augusta, can't he always go back and play every Augusta he wants because he won it once? Like, isn't that the way it
potentially, yeah, but basically the PGA, like, everyone kind of goes, well, the PGA Tour kind of runs it, and that's why they started this Rebel Tour. But it came back to bite Phil in the ass because he gave this thing going, we know the Saudis are fucking crazy fuckers, like they'll cut heads off. But, they're hard to deal with, but, we're trying to do what's right for the players with the money. And funny. Nice, Gary.
Did he say they cut people's heads?
Pretty fucking, like, he goes, we know what they did to that journo. Like, he didn't say they cut their heads off.
Holy shit, Phil Mickelson.
Yeah, go look up Phil Mickelson Saudis. It's fucking pretty funny story. So
Phil
Mickelson
that's
why he didn't play the Masters.
Oh, right, because he said that.
Right. Yeah, so it was out. He was basically PGA Tour like, fuck you, Phil. You can't come and play our tournaments. The Masters is a different story, like you said. That's invitation.
Yeah,
but Phil withdrew from that. But he's the reigning US PGA champion, US Open champion.
Yeah.
So he's now like
he's obligated. He has to be invited back.
I want to play it, but it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. They can't ban him, surely. They can't.
No, they can't ban him, but I think it's a bit of backlash towards it because it's a Rebel Tour. But the funny thing is, like, they're going, players need to get paid more, treated better. Like, fucking golfers get paid out the ass. Like, golfers are getting paid insane amounts of money to, like, every week there's a new tournament, $5 million first prize.
Yeah, it's like horse racing.
It's insane the amount of money these guys are earning.
And
so the fact that,
you do invitationals.
Pay the guys right, like, bullshit. Come on.
Yeah, like you don't have to give a fuck about the tour if you're playing invitationals every week. Because the guys who play well in the invitationals probably make more money than the guys who are doing the fucking ranked events.
It's money everywhere. Yeah, like
gives
golf
a fuck?
pays a crazy amount. I saw this thing on Twitter the other day where they're like, if you could be the best in the world at one sport for 1 year and then you had to, like, you lost that skill, what would it be? And I'm like, I'd probably go golf just for the reason that I could literally earn fucking hundreds of $millions in 1 year, win 4 majors if I'm the best in the world, and never have to work another day in my life. Every other sport, you don't get paid hard until later on in your career.
Yeah.
So
you've got to prove yourself first. Yeah.
If I'm going to be good, like I'm going to be good for 1 year, I'm going to play golf.
Oh, mate, look, if I could play golf for a living, I would settle for $100,000 a year and finishing fucking like, you know, making the third day 50% of the time. You know, that would be good enough for me.
Yeah, pays very well.
Pays the fucking bills. Like you can live very comfortably off that. I just think it's funny that like Phil Mickelson will always be remembered, I think, by most people as Tiger Woods' rival, right? Because he was around. Yeah, no, but they were.
Phil's a great player.
Yeah, but the big head-to-heads were between Phil and Tiger. But Phil has Phil has outlasted Tiger in many ways as well. Like,
yeah, true.
Tiger's had the big kind of life downward spirals, and now he's got the injuries, but Phil's still kind of, he just keeps on trucking. You know what I mean? He's when we look back on Phil Mickelson, we'll say, okay, I don't really know why he was so controversial, but you know what he was? He was just a good, honest kind of fucking blue collar player. He wasn't a classy player or anything, was he? Phil Mickelson.
He's a good player, but he's a douchebag. That's the problem.
Yeah, but he wasn't like a fucking silk. You know, he wasn't like a silky player. He was just the kind of very consistent, very good. Good and consistent. He was like the Pete Sampras of golf.
Right? Yeah, he was. He's very Pete Sampras. Very boring, but at the same time,
bore his opponents to death. Yeah.
But yeah, just happened to be in the same era. Like if not for Tiger, he'd be considered.
Oh, definitely.
Like,
yeah.
He already is considered one of the best ever to play golf.
Yeah.
But like,
he was. He probably was. He was. Yeah, probably was one of the best.
How many majors? He's won like 7 majors, I think.
7 or 8. Yeah. BE, he'll know. BE's in the chat. He'll know. I think he won I think he won like 7 or 8, which is like, you know, like you said, in any other era.
Nick Fatto won 6, and Nick Fatto is considered one of the greatest ever.
Yeah.
Which brings back to the Shark, who's only ever won 2.
Well, the Shark's really just, it's only us who really care about the Shark, like, because he was at the time our greatest. He was known in other countries as the biggest choker because he lost so many fucking last days in the British. Was it the British Open that he kept losing?
Right. So that's what the doco is kind of about.
Okay.
But he spent 361 weeks as the number 1 golfer in the world. Which is fucking insane. Like the Shark wasn't just like an average player. He dominated the world.
He just didn't win very often.
But no, he won plenty. He just only ever won 2 majors, which when you think about it, that phrase is kind of crazy. Like he only won 2 majors, but considers only 4 per year. But the greatest ever win multiple upon multiple, and he just had
What's Tiger up to? Like 15, 16?
16, isn't it? Something like
16. That. Ian Baker Finch won 4, didn't he?
No, Ian Baker Finch won 1. He won British Open.
One British Open.
Yeah. But that context,
players like Gary Player, how many did he win? Like 7, 6, 7?
This is turning into fucking like an election quiz, man. I don't fucking know what the answers
are. No, but you know what I mean? Like when you No, what I'm saying is like Greg Norman is revered. Greg Norman is revered as this like you know, legend in golf, but you're right. It's such a weird little situation where it was more about his consistency than it was about his great victories, right?
Yeah, well, he won lots of tournaments,
just not majors. Yeah, but people only remember majors, though. You know,
exactly. Here you go. Gary Player 9 majors.
9 majors. There you go. But so you would think of Greg Norman as at least equal to, or if not above, Gary Player, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but once again, like it's individual tournaments. So let's say Greg Norman won 50 tournaments over his career, and only 2 of them are majors, whereas Gary Player won 9 majors, but maybe only 20 tournaments. Who's a better player? They just happen to have won in different.
Oh, we're getting some stats in the chat. So I think Rusty Riceman's in the chat. Greeno, I think he's a golf fan. BE saying Phil Mickelson won 6 and Gary won 9. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Greg Norman, Minister of Fun, Kimmy. Greg Norman has the biggest choker in golf for a different reason. Remember we did that Greg Norman story?
I know, because
Greg Norman has a huge dick.
Kimmy's fucking stole my fucking punchline. So well done, Kimmy. The whole fucking gag.
She ruined it. She ruined the gag.
The whole backstory of this whole thing was like, hey, they went through his whole career. They talked about his majors, but they forgot about the most important thing he'd done, obviously his big cock. Now they've changed the gag.
Huge penis.
Huge cock. They also didn't mention Holy Moly, Damo.
See, it doesn't matter if he'd won 2 majors, Greeno. He's got 1 major right there. Right there between his legs.
And he was on Holy Moly. So between those 2 things...
Nice, Gary!
What more do you want? All right, let's wrap it up. Dusty Baker, tip of the hat. Give him a nice Gary.
Nice Gary.
Nice, Gary!
The Statmans as well. Yep. The 13th ever manager in MLB history to get to 2,000 wins. First ever black man to do it as well. So well done there to Dusty Baker.
Wait, hang on. So is he the 13th to 2,000 wins and the first black guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
So all the other ones, old crusty white dudes.
Old crusty white dudes.
Yeah. Whereas now Dusty's the first old crusty black.
I have a question for you, Greeno, and I don't want it to sound racist, but I think
it'll sound racist.
It will. But like, I've got a couple of examples to prove that it's not racist. I just think people from certain countries and certain backgrounds are better at different things. Like, I think white guys are better NBA coaches and black guys are better NBA players. Does that make sense?
No, that's accurate.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like, for example, Scottish football, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are so many brilliant Scottish football coaches, like Sir Alex Ferguson, for example, like one of the most revered football coaches of all time. Great, the Manchester United. Before that, he was the coach of a team in Scotland, Greeno, called Aberdeen, who beat both Celtic and Rangers to become Scottish champions when it was unheard of. Nobody wins except Celtic or Rangers. They're the only 2 teams that win. So, like but the Scottish guys are very good coaches, but they're terrible players, right? Yeah. Generally speaking. And I what is it about when you have these situations where, the white guys are obviously very good at, football coaches, Greeno, for example. The white guys are very good football coaches, but they're not necessarily they're not necessarily the most powerful football players. Right. I forget the point.
No, I think you're trying to get to the point of maybe the white coaches are better than that. Look, I don't really know. Look, ultimately, credit to Dusty.
Yeah.
He's
so he's the 13th to 2,000 wins and the first black man. But like, why does that matter? Is it because they've had less time? Have the black guys have they had less time to be the coaches to get those records? But then I keep thinking about the other things like, well, the black coaches in the NBA seem to always get fired, whereas the white coaches tend to keep their jobs longer. Is that racism, or are they just suited towards better roles? I'm not trying to be
Rivers
racist.
has walked into fucking job after job despite failing.
Doc Rivers. How does Doc Rivers keep getting a fucking job? Who would you
rather?
Look, Mark Price is a
one championship with the
douchebag.
Celtics back when they had fucking the big 3.
KG. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. Now, look, going back to the baseball thing, basically there was no African-American manager until kind of like the 70s, 80s, because the color barrier wasn't broken until like the 50s or 60s in baseball.
True.
The players, which means like the coaches.
Hang on, I thought it was like the 40s in baseball, wasn't it?
Nah, 50s for Jackie Robinson.
Wasn't it? Was it? I don't know. Baseball's not my game, man. But I thought it was like I remember seeing like black and white of like, black baseball. And a proud day for African American. Is that not? Did that not happen? Or
no. Well, it might have been.
Okay.
Here we go. First, Frank Robinson, 1975 was the first African American manager. So you've got 150 years of baseball. That there was nothing but white managers up until 1975. When the first guy got a chance. So
were black guys playing baseball before then, or are they doing their own thing?
No, because they had the Negro leagues.
Ah, right, really?
They just weren't allowed to play baseball in the MLB because it was a segregated sport until Jackie Robinson came in and broke the color barrier.
See, I don't even know because like I said, baseball's not my game. So how did that happen? Did one person decide, you know what, he might be black, but he's good enough? Like, is that the argument that they had, or like he's the best player that we can get, but he's black? Oh, okay, we'll do it because he'll win us a championship.
Watch a movie called 42.
42. Okay.
42, really good film. It's about Branch Rickey, who's the general manager of the Dodgers at the time, who broke the color barrier because he's like, I'm sick of seeing this. There's a really kind of sad story where because Branch Ricky's kind of revolutionary in the baseball world, where he'd try new things and whatnot, and he talked about a time where he was a manager in the minors, and he managed an African American player, and because they were allowed to do racial integration in minors at some points, but not in the majors. Okay. And this player came into his room, and because they weren't allowed to stay in the same hotels.
Why didn't they have black players in? Because they had black. I mean, I remember seeing the old footage of Adolf Hitler in the stands in the Berlin 1936 Olympics, and Jesse Owens was winning a gold medal. Why did it take till the 1970s to get a black coach in baseball? That doesn't make much sense. You know, no. Jesse Owens was an American athlete in the Olympics in 1936. You know what I mean? So what was it in baseball specifically that they were like, nah, fuck the niggers, we're not letting them in?
I think there's a difference between athleticism and coaching because
that's true. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's always that mentality of like, oh, they're great athletes, but they can't manage. And that's kind of why there was such a big gap between
Claudio Ranieri, Greeno, the football coach, was once asked, why should people listen to you as a coach when you weren't a good player? And he said, I'm sorry, I didn't realize I had to be a horse in order to be a jockey.
Yeah. No, it's fair. Most of the best coaches are bad players because they didn't have the skill to be a great player. So they had to really understand the game to even stay alive in it.
Yeah. Which former players have actually gone on to become super coaches as well? It's either one or the other.
Yeah, 100%. Like Phil Jackson, arguably the greatest NBA coach in history, was not he was a good player.
He was a very good player, yeah.
Wasn't a great NBA player. Steve Kerr, fringe fucking player, very good coach.
Doc Rivers was a fringe player, and he's a terrible coach.
I don't think he's a very good coach. But you know what I mean? Like the guys that end up being good coaches are the ones that had to study and work hard and just listen and absorb and watch because they weren't on there. They didn't have that natural ability, so they had to understand the other aspects of the game to get the most out of themselves to even be competitive.
You know what?
Whereas the natural players are going to be able to do it anyway, and they just expect everyone else around them to do it.
You're right. I think Tom Brady's probably going to be a really good coach one day, and I reckon Tom Brady's. No, you know what? I've got this feeling that Tom Brady has set up this whole algorithm of life to suit himself, and he'll probably win 9 Super Bowls as a coach as well, and he won't even fucking try. You know what I mean? I think he might be the first one that'll be a great player and a great coach.
We'll hold our breath, but we'll wait and see.
Nice, Gary!
We've been going for 2 hours, and this show had no content. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
What do you got? Plugs? You doing a show tomorrow?
Yeah, look, I think I'm probably doing one. I don't have much really to talk about. I've kind of scooped up a couple of things. I'm just working so much these days, Green. I'm just trying to put in the hard yards. I started a little late, so I'm trying to catch up kind of thing.
It's all right.
Yeah, so, I don't really have much time for anything else, but I have scooped up a couple of little items here and there. There's a lot of crazy people on the internet these days, Greeno.
And mate, as we've just proven for the last 2 hours, you don't need content. You just fucking make it up.
Do you want to come on the show tomorrow? I'll be on at 8 a.m. though.
I'm out tomorrow. It's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to Mum.
Mother's Day Sunday, Greeno.
Yeah, I know, but I got my wife, so I got to take because the kids are too young to be able to do shit. So that means I got to do shit. So
what are you doing?
I always do fucking a big feed. So I whip up a couple of special dishes over the course of the day for Mother's Day.
You know what? Can I ask you? That's one of the things I'm looking forward to is Father's Day. What's the kind of treatment that you get there on a Father's Day, Green? Do you get the full service? Is it breakfast in bed and that kind of shit, or is it go out and do the lawn, you lazy cunt?
No, it's definitely not. No, there's definitely some service there. For me, it's just a self-indulgent day.
Okay.
So my first Father's Day was literally cheesy presents from the kiddos.
Cheesy presents? Like what? Like macaroni lovely cards and stuff? Or
yeah, but literally the best presents I ever got in my life. Yeah. Stupid fucking
I love that stuff.
Badly painted foam cars. Amazing. Best presents I ever got.
Paige's card is still fucking hanging in this studio right behind me, Greeno.
100%. That stupid shit like that fucking I hold in my heart.
Yeah.
But it was just a day for myself. So it was breakfast cooked for me, which normally I have to cook every other meal. Yeah. So I was I enjoyed that. then it was like, what do you want to do?
Do you
I'm
enjoy
like,
it, or do you sit there and critique it and go, you know what, if it were me, I would have fried that bacon a little more?
No, it was finally a meal I didn't have to cook, so I enjoyed it. Then it was like, what do you want to do for the day? So it was like, we went down and we went to the pub and watched footy for the day.
Nice, Gary.
So just made the most of the day. Very self-indulgent. Hung out with the kiddo. And literally, Father's Day is my favorite day ever, just for the random reason of like, I become very self-indulgent. I'm like, fuck, this is my day. It's like birthday boy, that kind of mentality.
Okay. I don't know if it'll work. I think it's going to backfire for me. I once said to my wife, hey, listen, it's your birthday. You don't have to do the dishes. And she said, oh, thank you. And I said, yeah, you can do them fucking tomorrow.
Nice, Gary!
It'll backfire for you. Yeah. With that said, though, like you enforced a sausage fest on Lady Boogs
I did.
for your birthday one year.
Yeah.
So, like, not in a sexual way.
No, it was sexual. It was sexual. It was German sausages. It was sexual.
It was nothing other than German sausages.
It was sexual for me, Greeno. German sausages.
The point, on your birthday morning, she had to turn to you like, can we not have sausages regularly? Like, it's my birthday.
No.
We're having sausages again.
That's right. Because, like, you know, she's like, do you want to do something on your birthday? You want to have a party or whatever? I'm like, no, I'm going to go. I want you to go to this German shop where they sell German sausages. And I want you to bring them home. And I'm going to spend all day cooking them. And, like, that was the day. She's like, you really want to do this for your birthday? I'm like, yep, I'm going to do sauerkraut and German fucking snags. And you've got to get the proper German mustard to go with it as well. And we had sausages literally for breakfast, lunch, and fucking dinner, Greeno.
Nice, Gary!
And home-cooked pretzels, home-cooked fucking pretzels and beer for breakfast. How do you like that shit?
That is what Father's Day is, sir. So that's what you can expect there. It's basically that kind of self-indulgence and just kind of
BE in the chat says a blowjob and steak.
Nice, Gary!
That's every. Well, admittedly, in BE, that's every day for BE.
That's every day for BE.
Yeah. He's living the dream. Fantastic. See you guys next week.
All right. Bye.
We'll always be bosom buddies, friends, sisters, and pals. We'll always be bosom buddies. If life should reject you, there's me to protect you.
If I say that your tongue is vicious,
if I call you uncouth,
it's simply that.
Who else but a bosom buddy will sit down and tell you the truth?